Hey, Time Traveler, and hey, No Pity Kitty. How's everybody doing? Hi, Kuon. All right. Oh, moving. Moving is very hard, no matter what. Oh yeah, these I think these are the ones that I recommend on the page. These headphones. They're very nice. So, sorry I've been away for a while. I went to a company retreat with the rest of the Below Zero team. It was very cool. did a lot of meetings, mostly about Below Zero. But yeah, I didn't actually write a lot of music in between then and now. But I did finish one piece yesterday. Hey, Abraxas. Hey, thank you for the host. Oh, cool. What did you think of Darkside Detective? Cool on. That was a really fun project. It was cool to do something that wasn't sci-fi. And they were a very great team to work with. All right, so this track is for the jukebox. So the next update is going to include a jukebox that you can build in your base in Below Zero, and I wanted to make some custom tracks for it, and this is one of them. And I think I played some of this last time, a couple weeks ago, but this is it. This will be the first time you're hearing it in its finished state. So let's play through the whole thing. You can hear the entire song, and then we'll talk about it. And as always, if you have any questions at all, just let me know. Oh, there you go. So the fact that it's a piece of music that plays on an in-universe jukebox allows me to just kind of make a fun song instead of thinking so much about the atmosphere, and that's really fun. I can even end with a fade out, which I did. Oh yeah, one of the great new features, I don't know if it's specifically new to Cubase 10, but it's new to me, is it's very easy to add curves to automation. Between every 2 points is a little control here that you can grab, and you can change the shape of the curve. Here, let me do another one because I really like that curve and I don't want to mess it up. So it's like, this is like the normal shape of it, but then we can take this and we can give it any kind of curve we want. Which is fantastic. Before you had to like get a certain tool and then draw the curve that way, and it wasn't as flexible as that. Hey TJ, and hey RP Varela. Oh, Time Traveler asks, what did you add over the chords? That's this thing here, I believe. Chords in the beginning. Oh yeah, whoops. I'm demonstrating all that and then you can't actually see it. Okay, here you got 2 points. Facecam covered it. Yeah, okay. So yeah, you get these 2 points and then a control appears in between them and you can grab it and you can give it pretty much any kind of curve you want, which is fantastic. Yeah, so originally, the first part of this, these first like 20 measures, 20 bars right here, was originally written when I was working on Photographs, the mobile game that just came out, my latest game that I worked on. I started work on it as a very experimental piece because I had run out of ideas for one part of the game, and so I was like sort of wildly flailing around for different ideas, and I made this, and it was immediately apparent that it wasn't going to fit in Photographs, but it sounded really good and I liked it, so I hung on to it. And yeah, when the opportunity came up for Below Zero to be like, hey, let's make something for the jukeboxes, I dug this up from the previous project, and pretty much everything after this point here was added for Below Zero. Nanomium, is that it? Anyway, asks, how do you start new projects? Like what scale, chords, melody, etc.? There's a lot of different ways that I'll start a new piece. Probably the most reliably effective way to start a new piece is to come up with a chord progression. So I will think about the mood that I'm going for, and that might inform the scale, because like you may pick a major scale or a minor scale depending on the mood that you're trying to achieve. And then I will experiment with different chords. Here, let me pull up the key cam. Hello, Eloa. So I will play different, mess around with different key chords depending on the scale. Like this is a C minor scale. And then you've got various chords within it. I'm just picking this because this is an easy one that I know very well, so I'm picking it right now to demonstrate. And then I may just like mess around with different chords to see what it sounds like. And decide on timings, like, and it's all very experimental. I'm not making any like final decisions as I'm doing this. I'm just sort of like, what does this sound like if I go back and forth from these 3 chords or something? Like if I'm like, there's the chord progression, and then I may just use the instruments I have or pick something and just take that chord progression I just made and repeat it a lot, and then start trying to write things on top of that. And that'll be the way that I start writing. That might be a way. There are other ways. Like I may start with just like I'll just find a preset that I like a lot, and I'll start with that. Or I may start with like a bass line or like a rhythm that I like. But yeah, definitely the most reliable way to come up with stuff is starting with a chord progression of some kind. It's much easier to build the structure of the rest of the song if you have a solid chord progression to start with. So we got a question. We got a couple of questions. Gamlo asked, "Do you use any hardware?" Not a lot. I have some. I have like a Korg Minilog, like an analog synthesizer. I don't really use it. I've got a Novation circuit, which I love, but I don't use it all that often. I'm mostly a software guy, just because it's so much easier to do. Hardware, I always find to be a pain. I used to use hardware for everything years and years ago. And then I discovered software, and I was like, wow, this is so much better and so much easier to work with. Yeah, it's hard to go back. What's the fancy device to my left? It's called a fader port. It's a controller. It has a here, let me hang on before I start messing with this. Make sure I know what I'm messing with. It's got a fader here, and the fader is motorized, so I can actually I can use it to record automation of like volume control. So I can record something and move this fader around, and it will record that movement. You can kind of see it over there on the left. So I use that to record automation of volume control. I can use this knob here to change left and right panning. So I do a little bit of that. It's got some other things you can... it's got like a play and pause and record and stuff, which I don't use as much. Mostly I got this to have the motorized fader so I could record automation. And it's very useful for that. So yeah, this track has sort of two distinct parts. This first part, which is from here to this marker 2 here, from the beginning to marker 2. Excuse me. And the main difference is between 1 and 2 is the chord progression, the presence of like a swing or a shuffle, which comes in at part 2, and the percussion. So in the beginning, let's go over the percussion, I guess. That's kind of a fun thing. I'm going to solo these. So this is percussion in part 1. So that's like percussion in part 1, and then part 2, we add a swing to it and kind of a shuffle. We take out this part and add this part. So you'll hear the difference here in just a second. But yeah, it sort of changes it up and has a very distinctly different feel for the percussion in part 2 from part 1. And that was kind of a fun thing to do. And then the chords, the other distinct difference. So that just repeats through part 1. But then part 2, starting here. And that just repeats until the end. And everything else follows that too. So if we even go to like the bells, which are here, these, here, I'll do both of them here. And it was really fun. The other thing is, this is something new that I did that I've never really done before, which was running a bass line, an arpeggiated bass line, with just like the same chord progression. So I just took that chord progression and dropped it into this arpeggiated bass thing, and it made for such a fun bass line, as you heard. Very fun. Hey, monsieur. So yeah, so I started this out. the baseline, I mean, here. Oops, I don't even know what I just did. Well, no, I don't want to record. There we go. So it was sort of an experiment to be like, okay, what if I take an arpeggiated bass and like try messing around with it that way? Because usually I write the bass lines by hand. This was kind of a fun experiment, and it turned out really well. Monsieur asks, what can you say about the Dark Side Detective Season 2? Well, unfortunately, I can tell you that the only thing I really can tell you is that I'm not involved in Season 2. I had to turn it down. Yeah, sorry. No, I'm not involved in. It wasn't like nothing bad happened. It was just like I wanted to do other stuff and couldn't really fit it into my schedule. But they're a great team and everything. But it just didn't. The timing was not good. So. So, let's see what else we got. Oh yeah, the presence of a swing or a shuffle. Now this I've always had a hard time explaining like a shuffle beat to people if they don't already know what it is or what that means. So I may do a little demonstration here. Let me see here. How's the whole thing sound like? Oh, there's probably enough people now who haven't heard the entire thing. So let's do that. Let's go back and listen to the whole piece. This is for playing on the jukebox that you build in Below Zero. Hi, Matt. Time Traveler asks, will biome tracks also be available on the jukebox, or will I need to sit in the Kelp Caves to hear the awesome track? I actually don't know. It's yet to be determined, actually. We haven't really talked about whether or not the rest of the Below Zero music will be available on jukebox. I think it's a little bit... I mean, I don't know. I guess people will be breaking the immersion by bringing their own music in to the game anyway, but I feel like playing music from the game itself in the game on the jukebox seems a little immersion breaking, but I don't know, maybe it doesn't matter. It probably doesn't matter, and I'm probably overthinking it. There's also a lot of little one-shot things. This should be in one-shots. Like rises and crashes and things like that. Like, this is like, here. That shows up a lot in this piece. See it everywhere. And then we've got this knocking sound, that knocking ice sound that you've heard on a lot of other parts of the soundtrack. And then this thing, which is really just a preset that I took and added a bunch of reverb to it and kind of let it sit in the background. Adds a lot of texture to it. Alright, see you later, Time Traveler. Sorry, it's not working out. Whoops. Oh, and one little thing that it's not very noticeable is this little thing. That is an example of me taking a preset and turning it into something completely... That was the thing that was like... It was like bells before, and had a very different vibe, and I just like pulled it apart and changed what the sound was and how it behaved, and it's this cool like flippy thing. What else? What else? Yeah, I wish I had more new stuff to show you, but yeah, I just haven't been writing anything in the last couple of weeks. Oh, I was gonna do a demonstration of what a shuffle is. Hey, Magic Marshmallow, gonna hit the Steam sale after the stream? I guess I probably will. I'm gonna check out what's up there. Alright, so let's take it here. Oh, everything's turned down at this point. Let's solo this and go here. So we'll just have that. So what is shuffle or swing? So this is something, this is a little sound without, I don't know if you can, I'll turn it up a bit so you can hear it a little better. Select all of them. Oops, turn this on. This is a sound without any kind of shuffle on it. Every note is perfectly on beat. Now I'm going to add a bit of swing to it now and try to see if you can hear the difference. I should add a bigger swing to it. I don't remember. Here we go. Maybe that's too quiet. How's this one sound? I need something with a stronger attack. That's fun. So that's with the swing on it. And it's got this kind of like a shuffling groove to it, right? And if we turn that off and we just go back to... It sounds more robotic. And then swing. And then no swing. Swing again. And no swing. So if we zoom in, and whoops, no, I do not want to quit. If we select everything here and we do quantize it to swing, you can actually see the notes have been shuffled around a bit. So the beginning of every even note is moved back a bit. And you get this nice shuffle to it. And it's something that I don't use enough. And whenever I use it, I get super excited and way into it. And I don't know why I don't do it more. So there you go. You got a little bit of lesson on swing. Yeah, what's everyone getting from if you're getting anything from the Steam sale? What are you planning on getting? watch Metro 2033. Good answers. I've got like a wish list on my Steam, but it's like 30 games long. I don't remember what's on there. Let me load up Steam here. Oh, I finally like installed a nicer video card on my studio rig so that I can put more, like, play Below Zero while I'm working on it or whatever, which I couldn't really do before because I didn't have like a good video card on this. Not sure I am this year. Most of the stuff on my wish list hasn't released yet. Oh yeah. I'm getting Maya by Simon Roth. I don't know that game at all. I really want to get the Outer Wilds, but I haven't. That's probably not on sale because it just came out. But yeah, I'm hoping to get that at some point. Well, let's load. We've got some more time here. I'm not doing like a super long show because I don't have a lot of new stuff to show. But let's load up that Kelp Caves track and play that at least. Goofy Soccer asks, how do you go about choosing which instruments to use when making music? This seems to be my biggest struggle when composing. Yeah, that's legit. A lot of it is just like finding presets that excite you when you're playing around with stuff. Like spend some time just going through the presets on whatever synths or whatever you have. Just do that, like spend some time where you're not necessarily trying to make something, but you're just going through your presets and like finding stuff that sounds cool and like bookmark it or favorite it or whatever on the synth or something. Anything that even remotely excites you when you listen to it or when you play it. And then that can help you later on when you're like trying to find stuff to use. And excuse me, let me try that again. Some part of choosing instrumentation depends on the project you're making it for. Like Below Zero, for example, like orchestra stuff isn't really part of it. So I'm not going to choose orchestra instruments. I'm going to go for synths and unusual sounds and atmospheric things. So I kind of like know where to start from there. Oh, I think Cubase crashed. Oh, nope, it didn't. Never mind. Kelp Cave. Also, speaking of the sale, the summer sale, FTL and the soundtrack are on sale right now. I have 41 items on my wish list. Great. I don't even know. I just like drop stuff on here without even thinking about it. A lot of it is like roguelikes. I usually like just drop roguelikes on here when I see something. Heat Signature looks cool. Still haven't played that. Sunless Skies. Risk of Rain 2 looks cool. Oh, Heaven's Vault looks really neat. Oh, see you later, TJ. This track is still loading. I don't know. So one problem with getting Cubase 10 has been it oftentimes takes forever to load tracks, which is something that Cubase 7.5 did not do. And so I end up sitting here for a while waiting for the track to load, and I don't know why. Something I'll have to figure out. Ex Machina and Everspace are two great games. Oh, cool. Oh yeah, Project Warlock looks really cool. Snaky Bus. I actually played some Snaky Bus, and it was fantastic. I loved it. I don't even remember adding this. Free Diver? Oh, it's like a VR game. Yeah, that looks cool. I don't know. Probably I'll just end up playing more uh, Destiny 2 and not actually buying anything. Magic Marshmallow asks, what are your favorite game genres? Well, I love roguelikes, and I like games that add roguelike elements to them, and I've loved roguelikes ever since I discovered NetHack in like the 90s. Uh, I love first person shooters. I will try out pretty much any first person shooter. Uh, Although I guess I tend to not really play any of the military first person shooters. Um, and what else do I like? I enjoy really hardcore action games. I will play anything by Shinji Mikami. Like I love Vanquish and God Hand. Horror games I love. Any kind of action horror. I love Dead Space and Resident Evil and things like that. Oh my god, this is still trying to load. Yeah, this is the weird thing about this. I don't really understand what this is. It will probably load in a couple of minutes. Uh Oh yeah, Pray for the Gods. I didn't realize this was like out. Man, I've been like out of the loop for a while. I'll put this on my wish list. No Metroid. Well, I do love Metroid games. Uh and I have played a lot of the uh Symphony of the Night style Castlevania games. I guess I do enjoy Metroidvanias. I loved Hollow Knight. Hollow Knight was fantastic. I just started playing Sekiro yesterday, 2 days ago. I'm enjoying that as well. I cannot believe this is still trying to load. You get Bloodstained. Not yet, but I plan on getting. Well, I backed it on Kickstarter, so I should be. Hey, look, it loaded. It just finally randomly popped up. I did get Bloodstained. I do have it, like it's coming because I backed it on Kickstarter, so I have it in some form. I just haven't really checked it out yet. Did anything from E3 interest you? Pretty much everything, anything from Nintendo was exciting. I'm very excited about Mario Maker 2 because I love Mario games. Why is this not? Oh, because I'm not actually selecting. Boop. Making sure everything's loaded up properly before I play it for you alls. All right. So I think some of you have heard this one before, but this is for the Kelp Caves area in the game. And it's actually one of my favorites. Hey, Immortal Hawk, thanks. I actually don't remember what else was shown at E3 besides Nintendo stuff. I have to go back and look. I know there was other stuff that I was into, but now it's been a little while and I forget. Yeah, like I'm excited about the new Zelda and oh, the FF7 remake. Yeah, that looks pretty fun, honestly. I love Final Fantasy VII, and I really enjoyed Final Fantasy 15. Final Fantasy 15 felt like a real return to form for Final Fantasy, and I'm sure a lot of other people would agree too. It really did make me feel much the same way that I felt when I was play the old like PS1 era Final Fantasies. And so I think they'll probably do a pretty good job with the 7 remake. Alright, so let's listen to this Kelp Caves piece. Just in case you haven't heard it. So the Kelp Caves is like a network of caves in Below Zero. It's kind of murky. There's a lot of green and brown. It's a bit confined and a bit maze-like. And there's a lot of plant life in it. That gives you a bit of an idea of what it feels like. Hey, Disparity. Thank you for the subscription. So yeah, that's actually one of my favorite pieces that I've done so far for Below Zero. Actually, it's nice and simple, and it works really well, I think, for the area. It's like it fits the best for the area that I made it for, I think. Any of the pieces that I've done so far. Thanks, Splinter Cat. Yeah, somehow it all just sort of came together really quickly and worked the way I had intended. Just really happy with it overall. Please play again. Yeah, I mean, it's really short. We can totally do it again. Here. Yeah, awesome. I'm so happy with this track. Came out really well. Well, unfortunately, I don't really have anything else to show for today. Like I said, I haven't really been writing anything in the last couple of weeks, so not much. But I will be back on Friday, and hopefully, I'll have new stuff then. In theory, I should have some new music to show off. And I don't want to get your hopes up, but I might be doing maybe some live stuff or incorporating something like Ableton related next session on Friday. Maybe. I've been trying to convert the last piece you were listening to, the jukebox track, into a live piece. That would be really fun. Hopefully I'll have something ready to show. That would be really fun. Especially with the key cam. I can actually put like the Ableton push controller like right here on the desk, so you can see it operating. I'll probably have the camera zoom in a bit so you can see it better, and that'll be really fun. So hopefully I'll have that ready by then. We'll see, maybe. Hopefully it'll all work out. But yeah, it should be. Regardless, I'll have something new to show on Friday. Excuse me. But yeah, thanks for everybody for showing up. Sorry there wasn't more to show today. But you know, sometimes that's what it's like. Like work schedule kind of makes things. Sometimes you're not working on much for a while, or you're gonna focus on other things, and then other times you'll have a ton of music all done in like a week. It's very hard to predict. But yeah, I'll be back on Friday, same time, 10 a.m. Pacific. And yeah, I'll have new stuff. And thank you so much. Thank you so much for coming by and supporting me. Subscriptions, I appreciate. Just watching is great. Asking questions is wonderful. I always appreciate it, and it always starts really good conversation. So if you've ever asked a question at all on this, I really appreciate it. It's great. And or just watching is also good. I hope this is like useful or enjoyable in some way to everybody. But yeah, I will be back on Friday, so I will see you all then. Let's play you out with this track. See you later, everybody.